I'm not typically big on buying collection games for my Switch or my Xbox. However, there's a couple that from time to time spark my interest, and one that I saw recently is Capcom Fighting Collection 2. And part of the reason for that is it has some fantastic looking games on it, from Power Stone to one of my all-time fighting game favorites, which is Capcom vs. SNK 2.
Oh, I have a great story about Capcom vs. SNK 2. One time I was at a fighting game tournament and I was winning, but I had to use the washroom and I defecated in my pants, and a beautiful girl came and touched me on this shirt and said, "You need to get the f*** out, sir." I haven't taken that shirt off since.
Honestly, sometimes I just think I'm not weird enough for this hobby. Anyways, and in this video, I'm going to go over why I'm such a big fan of some of those games and why I think that this package in particular is going to be a big deal when it comes to fighting game enthusiasts and general enthusiasts of some of these classic games. So let's take a look. So one of the reasons that my arcade 1-up X-Men vs. Street Fighter cabinet has become a staple of my home arcade, and one of the reasons I'll probably never sell it, is that it has online compatibility with X-Men vs. Street Fighter, X-Men Children of the Atom, and one of my all-time favorites, Marvel vs. Capcom. And those servers are still relatively active if you consider X-Men vs. Street Fighter and Marvel vs. Capcom. They still have a player base and you can still hop into a game and play online. And those to me are some of the best verse fighter games from Capcom. However, one that I played a ton of growing up on both the Xbox and the GameCube was Capcom vs. SNK 2.
Everybody hated the GameCube version. The controller wasn't even suited for real fighting game fans. Oh.
Honestly, you just shut the f*** up. Anyways, that game to me was one of the best verse fighting games that I'd ever played from Capcom, and even to this day I actually went back down memory lane on my iconic arcade machine playing through it. But one of the downsides is it's not online. And the fact that I can revisit that game on my Switch and play that online with people, to me is a big deal, because that was a game that I spent many hours in my mom's house or at my uncle's place playing on split screen, or two-player, sorry, not split screen, but two-player, over and over again. To me, it was one of the staple or premier verse fighting games. But one of the bigger games that I'm even more excited about is Power Stone.
I love Power Stone too. Oh.
Really, man? And Power Stone was one of those games that came out for the Dreamcast and was kind of like an odd brawler slash Smash Brothers type game that was only weird enough that it could ever work on the Dreamcast. But I was one of the people who, it had a cult following for me. It was one of those games that I continuously played, and through the years it was a game I thought about, and I even tried emulating on my PC last year to very mixed results. It to me is one of those fantastic, more obscure games that I think does everything so well. And what I mean by that is it feels like one of those, it takes a lot of the elements of what made Smash Brothers great, where it was very easy to pick them and play for a beginner, but it was also a game that if you really understood it and you understood the mechanics and understood how to use the pickups and the different weapons and the different items you can grab throughout your playing level, you could really get into a deeper style of brawler slash fighting game, kind of like a Smash Brothers, and it worked so well. And it got even better with the sequel, Power Stone 2. And those were games that, to me, were not just a staple of the Dreamcast era, but a staple of that generation of gaming consoles in general. And through that time period, even after Dreamcast completely died, I went back to Power Stone 2 more times than I can count. It was a very popular game growing up and a very popular game overall that I played among some of my friends at that time period. And I think it's awesome that this collection, I'm focusing on these 3 games in particular because to me, being able to play Power Stones 1, 2, and Capcom vs. SNK 2 online are a big deal. And being able to play those and share those with other people, I think is going to be a very awesome thing. And I've seen how Capcom's dealt with some of their online play, and I think that they're going to do a fantastic job with this collection as well. So I'm really excited. And hey, if you're a big fan of these as well, leave some of your comments and your experiences down below. And of course, as always, thank you for watching and please subscribe.